Hi friends, welcome back. If I had $1 for every time I heard a student say, Caitlin, when are we going to use this in real life? I would be, wealthier than a school teacher. You've heard me say that in previous videos because I know that you're watching those previous videos, but you also have heard me say in previous videos that this is my favorite unit because we are talking about exponential growth and decay and exponential functions, and this is actual real world math that you will use, especially related to finance. So today we're talking about amortization, and this is how much you're going to pay back in a loan over the course of the loan. This is really important when you go to buy a house or if you buy a car, things like that. Because when you go to borrow money, let's say you borrow $10,000 and the interest, you have your interest rate of 10%. That would just be a flat $1,000, right? Well, you don't just pay back the $10,000 plus the $1,000. You pay back interest on, that interest keeps growing and growing. So in order to figure out how much interest you're going to pay back over the course of the loan, you have to figure out like use a loan calculator or do it by hand to figure out what your monthly payments are going to be. So that's what we're going to do today. Okay, so exponential growth, real life. This is a real world one, so it's very exciting. Let's talk about that. The amount, so for your notebook, make sure you put in that this is the total amount you will pay over the duration of the loan. So here we go. Here is this fancy formula here. It says P, and then there's an I, an N, and a T. P is for principal. That's your starting amount. We talked about that previously. That doesn't change. Then we have N for the number of times per year. Quarterly is 4, monthly is 12, daily is 365, all that good stuff. Annually or monthly would be, monthly is 12. And then our I is our rate divided by that N, whatever the number of times per year. So let's actually apply this because this looks really complicated, but you would be surprised we can actually do this all on our calculator. So let's take a peek here. Okay. So Jackson purchases a townhome for $515,000. He puts down a down payment of 10%. The remaining balance will be paid monthly over 30 years with an interest rate of 3.75. How much is the monthly payment? How much interest will Jackson pay back over the life of the loan? All right, let's figure out our monthly payment here. So the first thing that we want to do is I've copied this, our formula, but everywhere that there is a variable that we need to fill in, I've gone ahead and put that in there. I put in parentheses so we can put that in there. So the for the first one here, I don't know why it's not focusing. My apologies on that. So the first one here, we have our principal amount, and that is, now he's put down 10% of $515,000. So that means he's borrowing 90% of $515,000. So if we put in 915 times 90%, just like this, we end up with $463,500. So he is borrowing $463,500. Okay, then we have, and let me back up really quick and show you. Remember, your I is your R over your N. So our I in this case is going to be our rate, which we know is 0.0375 over our N, and our N in this case is going to be 12 because it's occurring monthly. So that's going to be our I, and we want to put that in right here, 0.0375 over 12 and 0.0375 over 12. Don't worry, I'm going to rewrite this so you can see it. Now, our N, again, is 12, and our T is 30 years. So we have 30 years. Okay, so let's rewrite this guy. We have 463,500, and then what we want to do is we want to do 1 minus 1 plus 0.0375 divided by 12 to the negative, and if we do 12 times 30, that's 360. So I'm just going to do that part right now. All of this is divided by, so this is our big division bar, right? All this is divided by 0.0375 over 12. All right, so looking at this, it looks like a mess of numbers, but I promise you it's not as bad as it looks. We can do all of this in our calculator. What we want to do first is this, 1 plus that garbage. So we're going to say 1 plus, and I'm going to use parentheses because I want to divide these two things. I don't want to divide that 1. I don't want to do, your calculator sometimes knows the order of operations, sometimes it doesn't, so it's always good to have good habits. So if we say 0.0375 divided by 12, gives us this. Okay, 1.03125. That's this number right here. Now, I want to take that number and I want to put it to the negative 360 exponent. I had to think of words there. So I just hit answer, or I hit enter to the negative 360, and I get this big number. Now, I don't want to have to sit here and so all of this part, let me highlight that for you so you can see. So what I have in my calculator so far is this right here. Now, I don't want to have to write that long old decimal number down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit 1 minus, and I'm going to hit the answer key on my calculator. Lots of calculators have them. On this one, it's hard to see, but it's above the negative sign. And you can do second answer. And so it'll say answer. So 1 minus all that, and that's the previous information. So 1 minus all that garbage. Cool. That's another really long decimal, but that is everything here. So I want to take that number and divide it by this. And again, you have to use parentheses. So divided by 0.0375 divided by 12. Close out my parentheses, and I get this big old long decimal. So now what I have, so that now includes all of this stuff that was in the denominator here. So I have 463,500 divided by this number here, 215.9288. I'm lazy, I don't want to have to write that number out, so I'm going to hit 463,500 divided by, and I'm going to go for that answer again because I want to put that in there. And finally, I have my answer. It is y equals $2,146.54. There we go. Okay, so that is what the monthly payment is going to be for the life of this loan. Now, so how much is the monthly payment? We get this number right here. So, and again, I've said in the past, make sure that when you have a word problem, write out a complete sentence for your answer because it forces you to go back and look to make sure you're answering the question. So the monthly payment is $2,146.54. Now, the next part says, how much interest will Jackson pay over the life of the loan? Well, if he's paying back $2,164, all that good stuff, 2146.54, and the loan is for 30 years, but he's paying this back monthly. That's 360 months that he is paying this back. So we're going to go ahead and use our calculator to figure out what that is. So times that by 360, we end up with 772,754.68. So in 30 years, if he makes that loan payment, if he makes it every single month, he will have paid back $772,000, $754.68. I kind of said that weird. Now you might be thinking, but wait a second, he only borrowed $463,000, $463,500, right? So that's the amount he borrowed. So everything else that he paid above that is interest. So if we minus that guy, we end up with $309,254.68. So how much interest will he have paid back? His interest will be $309,000. So he's paying back almost as much as he borrowed. I mean, not quite. There's $100,000, $150,000 difference there, but he's paying back a significant amount, like more than half of what he borrowed, because he, over the course of 30 years, that money that you're paying goes towards that interest for taking out the loan. So important thing, get a low interest rate, right? That's going to be super important because you don't want to be paying back so much money. The other thing is, if you do take out a 30-year loan, if you make one extra payment that first year, so instead of doing 12 months, you do 13 months, right? So save up each month and then make an extra payment. It significantly decreases your loan, something like 18 years instead of 30, and you save a chunk of money. So that's definitely worth exploring in another video, more about that. But bring that up with your teacher, your parents, your guardians, anybody, to see if they have any experience with that so that they can talk to you about, hey, we really want to make sure that you're not making bad financial decisions. Like I said, this is an exciting one because it talks about real world stuff. You wouldn't, if you think about it, gosh, I would not have thought that, borrowing $460,000 is going to cost me $300,000. So definitely something to think about. I've enjoyed sharing this all with you. I look forward to seeing you next time. And if you have any questions, let your teacher know. Thanks so much.